Welcome back, everyone. Today we have a very special guest, Sinead Bovell, who will be talking to us about the incredible AI technology that's been taking the world by storm, ChatGPT. As an expert in the field of technology and AI, Sinead will be sharing with us the many fascinating aspects of this amazing language model. And everything I just said was written by ChatGPT.
Yeah, truth. So it has been hailed as the smartest technology ever, and it's been said that it will have a massive impact on humanity, bigger than the agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, and the digital revolution combined. So the question is, does its potential outweigh its risks? So here to tell us more, as we've already heard from ChatGPT and Lainey, Sinead Bovell. Welcome to the show, Sinead.
We're so excited.
I'm so excited to be here.
I feel like months ago, Simon was trying to get me interested in ChatGPT, and I was like, boring, I don't even know what it is. And now it's impossible to ignore. It feels like just in the last couple of weeks. But explain to us, and for those of us who might not know, what it is.
So I think the easiest way to explain ChatGPT, it's the most powerful AI-powered chatbot that's ever been released to the general public that we can interact with in a very conversational way. So you can ask it to write you an email, a text message, an essay, summarize a science paper, some music lyrics, and it will answer that question. And I think the key benefit here is that anybody can interact with it. You don't need to have any background in technology. You just ask it a question the same way you would text a friend in a group chat. And that's what's made it so disruptive. That's why it's gone so viral. Anyone and everyone can use it.
So here's what's been happening in the last couple of weeks, to your point, Jess. Microsoft, I think it was just last week or in the last 2 weeks, they have invested, I think, to the tune of $10 billion in this technology. They plan to use it for their search engine Bing, which was like maybe a distant third in the search engine wars, right? It prompted then, when they did that, when Microsoft did that buy, it prompted what they called a code red over at Google down the street or wherever they are. Okay, why is that? And why does it have this potential to disrupt something like search engines?
Right, because it changes the way we search for information on the internet. If it's powered by a chatbot, it means we could be entering the era of conversational search. And here's an example of what that looks like. So say if I was going on a vacation, in a Google search, I would say, you know, if I have a child, I want to go to a hot country, I have a short budget, he's very athletic, where could we go? Google would give you a bunch of lists for you to sort it out yourself. ChatGPT, or AI-powered Bing, would reply with an itinerary for that trip, ask you some follow-up questions, explain why it's given you, this answer in a very conversational way. So it's much more of an assistant as opposed to something that just provides you a bunch of links. And this does have the power to really revolutionize how we search for content on the internet. We can converse with the internet, so to speak.
Now that sounds really wholesome. The issue is that a lot of the reporting from journalists, respected journalists, about their interactions with Bing have been worrisome. Reports of, not working in a very wholesome way. And there are some people who believe that this future present technology is going to pose a threat to journalism and essentially the truth. What are your thoughts on that?
Right, so I think there is, of course, the potential for misinformation and disinformation with these systems. They don't actually know what they're talking about. But when it comes to journalism, I think if you have a system that can generate content really quickly and really efficiently, it allows journalists to focus on the human side of reporting and the human side of journalism. I don't think that can go away. Again, these systems, they don't really know what they're saying. They're often factually incorrect. So there is a rule for journalism. We can't take them out of the picture. But it does, of course, change things. And there will be a little bit of a shakeup in a field that's so heavily reliant on writing.
When you're talking about human and human behavior then, which is the job of journalists to report on that human behavior, some of the worrisome reporting that's happening is that these bots are taking on certain human characteristics, jealousy, meanness, and they're starting to
Didn't one of them
act
say
like
I
a
want to be
stalker?
human?
Yes.
Yeah.
So how, is this just early days and they'll fix all of that, or are we looking at stalker bots in the future?
So there's a few things here. these AI systems sound like humans because they were trained on data from humans.
Yeah.
So this is how they're supposed to sound. They don't actually know what they're saying. You're speaking about a specific story where an AI said it wanted to be alive. When you dig down into that story, the journalist asked the AI to get into character as a shadow self.
Oh.
AI is trained on the data from the internet. What type of stories do we write about evil AI on the internet? AIs that want to be alive, take over. So it was just reflecting what we had written about it on the internet. It doesn't actually have a persona, so to speak. It's reflecting the things we wrote about AI.
Yeah, because it's not sentient.
It's
right?
not sentient, it's not real. It's just a bunch of math and code.
But are there other ethical implications here that we should be talking about?
Yeah, I think, again, this system was trained off of data from the internet. The internet is a wild place. The toxicity, the biases, all of that gets baked in, and we'll see it in the output. It means we can generate misinformation quite a lot faster. And I think what concerns me is that these systems, they sound so human-like and so sophisticated, but again, they don't know what they're saying.
Right.
They're factually incorrect. We have to validate what they say, but we might just be likely to believe them or susceptible to believe them because they sound so sophisticated.
So, automation is already affecting employment and the job market. So with chatbots and, ChatGPT, are we going to also see an impact on the job market?
Yes, so there's two things there. AI and ChatGPT will also create a lot of new roles that are really hard to imagine right now. When it comes to automation, we're much more likely to see automation of tasks within jobs. So tasks that require generating a lot of written content, we'll see these AI systems support that. So maybe if you're a copywriter or a market analyst, or you write social media captions, you will have a system that you can co-generate content with. So you can actually work a lot faster, a lot more effectively. There will be, of course, some automation. I'm certain things like customer service, a system that can sound like a human. That's a role where we might see more automation. But what we're likely to see overall is a lot more efficiency in our roles, some dislocation in the workforce. But I think it's going to open new avenues that are really hard to imagine right now.
Okay. One place where people are imagining that this is going to be a disruption, and maybe not for the better, is in the world of education. So as Lainey's script was written off the top, there didn't need to be anything other than write an introduction for ... So you put this in a school setting. Write an essay of 1,000 words on Shakespeare's Hamlet and this theme. Boop, you actually get a paper. So the Globe and Mail actually wrote about this and estimated that 70,000 students at Canadian universities buy cheating services every single year. We're already seeing school districts that are already saying we are banning ChatGPT for this reason. So the question is, what is ChatGPT and AI technology going to mean for education? Kids like mine, does she ever even need to learn how to write?
It does mean we have to change how we test for knowledge. If a student can use ChatGPT to write an essay and get a B, we need to test for that knowledge in new ways. And it doesn't mean writing goes away, right? The calculator doesn't mean we stop teaching math. We got to test for a lot harder concepts in math as a result. So we have to do the same type of updating with artificial intelligence. Because when you think about it, at the end of the day, we go to school to be prepared for the future economy and the future world. That world's going to be underscored by these systems. So we need to make sure students are ready.
Do we have enough time to account to make these testing, these regulations if you need? Do we have enough time given the speed that this is rapidly evolving at? That's my worry.
Right, so truthfully, we actually do. So papers about these types of systems, they've been in the works for years. A lot of people in industry knew they were coming. It means we need to have a little bit more foresight. Maybe government needs to be a little bit more assertive as to what's in the pipeline, because we do have time to prepare. We just have to be leaning into it, looking for it, and not kind of just surprised by it.
Oh my gosh, this is just a part one, Sinead. Just part one. Fascinating discussion. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey there, wasn't that great? Do you know where you can find some equally good content? Our YouTube page. It's filled with discussions, debates, and some laughs. Head there now, like and subscribe.